Here's who would win if Russia, China, and America went to war right now. With the rhetoric about global trade deficits heating up on the campaign trail, it might appropriate to momentarily shift our focus away from the asymmetric threats of the Taliban and ISIS and look at the world of conventional warfare. Here's how the world's three most powerful militaries stack up in four major categories. Number 1. Stealth fighters. While America holds the current stealth jet lead with the only fielded fifth-generation fighter, Russia and China are both gunning for it. There are only 187 F-22s, and the F-35 that is supposed to be joining them is running into all sorts of problems in the test phase, including the high-tech helmet that is supposed to put all kinds of info in the pilot's visor that doesn't work right yet. Meanwhile, China is developing four stealth fighters. The J-31 debuted in air shows in 2014 and is the most advanced current threat, and the J-20, which may have just entered full-scale production, is probably a match for the F-35 if not the F-22. The two newest designs, the J-23 and J-25, are mostly rumors and Chinese propaganda right now. Russia is developing only one stealth fighter, but it has capabilities that some put on par with the F-22. The T-50 will likely enter service in late 2016 or early 2017. Also known as the PAC-FA, it's less stealthy than the Raptor but more maneuverable. The F-22 would likely get a jump on the Russians in a war, but would be in serious trouble if it was spotted first. Likely winner, as long as the other planes are still more hypothetical than real, the F-22 remains the clear victor. Still, Raptor drivers can't rest easy knowing that multiple aircraft are being developed with the primary mission of bringing them down, and those planes are being developed with engineers who have the F-22's schematics. Number 2. Tanks. The U.S. Army fielded the first M1 Abrams in 1980. But the tank has undergone so many upgrades, including those to the armor, drivetrain, and weapon systems, that everything but the shell is new. It has a 120mm main gun, great electronics, remote-operated weapon stations, and an armor configuration that incorporates uranium, Kevlar, reactive, and COBHOM armor layers. Russia is developing the prototype T-14 on the Armata platform, but right now it relies on the T-90A, which is still an awesome tank. One even survived a direct hit from a TOW missile in Syria. Originally fielded in 2004, the T-90A features an autoloader, reactive armor, a remotely operated machine gun, and a 125mm cannon. The crew can fire anti-tank guided missiles from the main gun. Like Russia, China fields a few varieties of tanks and has new ones in development. Its go-to for tank-on-tank engagements is the Type 99. It features a 125mm smoothbore gun with auto-loader that can also fire missiles. The tank has been upgraded with reactive armor and is thought to be nearly as survivable in combat as Western or Russian tanks. Likely winner, strictly looking at the gear in a one-on-one fight, it's a draw. But America has more top-tier tanks and a better history of training crews. Plus, Ukraine notwithstanding, U.S. forces have more recent combat experience than their rivals. Number 3. Surface ships. With the largest navy in the world, America has any surface fight in the bag if it happens in the middle of the ocean. The crown jewels are the Navy's 10 full-sized aircraft carriers and 9 landing helicopter docks. But the Navy's technological advantages and sheer size might not be enough to overcome China's missiles or Russia's diesel subs if it had to fight in enemy waters. Russia still struggles with force projection, but the launch of Caliber cruise missiles at ground targets in Syria proved that Russia has found a way to give even their small ships some serious bite. An anti-ship version of the missile is thought to be just as capable and, if fired in a large enough salvo, may be able to overcome U.S. ship defenses like the Phalanx. Russia also fields the Club K missile system, a land attack and anti-ship cruise missile system that can be hidden in shipping containers. China is pushing for a maritime revolution in both its Coast Guard and the People's Liberation Army Navy. The Coast Guard is used to establish sovereignty in contested waters and is getting the world's largest and most heavily armed Coast Guard ships. The Navy features hundreds of surface ships with advanced missiles and other weapons in addition to great sensors. Likely winner, the U.S. Navy is still the undisputed champ across the world, but it would take heavy losses if it fought China or Russia at home. A full-scale invasion might even fail if planners aren't careful. Number 4. Submarines. The U.S. Navy has a staggering 14 ballistic missile submarines with a combined 280 nuclear missiles that can each wipe out an enemy city, 4 guided missile submarines with 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles each, and 54 nuclear attack submarines. They're technologically advanced, heavily armed, and stealthy. Russia has only 60 submarines, but those are very capable. Russia's nuclear subs are at or near par with their Western counterparts for stealth, while their diesel boats are some of the quietest in the world. Russia is also working on new submarine weapons, including a 100-megaton, city-killing nuclear torpedo. To top it all off, their crews were already good but are getting better. China has only 5 nuclear attack submarines, 53 diesel attack submarines, and 4 nuclear ballistic missile submarines, but they're working on more. China's subs are easy to track, but the U.S. and its Pacific allies are deploying sophisticated listening devices to keep track of them anyway. Likely winner, the U.S. submarine fleet wins for both power projection onto land and sub-on-sub combat, but the gap is narrowing. Chinese and Russian innovations and the rapid construction in new shipyards will make the ocean a more dangerous place for American submariners.